my fitness journey started in general about, back in high school. I was played 3 sports, not very good at any one of them, but I was very disciplined and it was very structured, and there were a lot of off-season training, so year-round I was playing sports. And then when I got out of high school, kind of went into a lull. I went to college, started a family, went through the years of just trying to maintain a little bit, but really didn't have any discipline in terms of nutrition or working out. And it really wasn't until later in my adulthood that where time allowed for me to do more things in terms of working out. I was coaching for 10 years in youth sports and middle school sports during those times, and was very active, but really didn't have any discipline around significant activities in nutrition and working out. So really just the last few years that it really started becoming more of a centered approach for me. And I started here about 3 years ago in 2015 with the challenge in January. Saw some marginal results then, really worked hard, but it really didn't become a discipline. It just became, was happy with the results. It became kind of a means to the end. And then I worked out consistently here since that with the M2 classes, but really didn't follow through on it and push myself. And I think nutrition was probably one of the biggest pieces of it, but also the issue became I really wasn't here enough and consistent enough. So what really changed for me, kind of the low point for me, was last summer. I had a 30th class reunion for my high school, and I was looking at some pictures afterwards and took a look at one of them and said, who is that fat guy that got in a picture? And it was me. So it really kind of shook me up a little bit. Again, something I've been aware of for a long time. Had some weight problems, been up and down over the years, and I decided to take bigger steps. One, with nutrition, kind of finally following through on the things that I learned here at ASF and just through my life, and then also just becoming more disciplined about activities during the week, making sure I'm working out a certain number of times a week, getting involved in some other activities that would help me with cardio and other things. So it really, that journey really began last summer. It was really more of a destination before that. I would go to the challenges, I'd achieve some goals, and then I'd fall off and really just fall back to where I was, and that wasn't acceptable to me. And so finally what I've done is made it more of a priority, and also worked through some of the things with nutrition and really being disciplined about that and changing my lifestyle those ways. Why I make things a priority in terms of my health and nutrition and working out is really along the lines of what I mentioned before in terms of the realization of appearance and how I felt, and that was really an issue. But also my employer over the last few years has done health evaluations, blood tests, and other things, and there were some markers and some indications that some things were leaning out of control. So instead of going the route of medication and doing some of those things, I said I can control this, and my doctor agreed with better nutrition, more working out, and more cardio and other things. So I went on that path of getting those numbers reversed and corrected, and it's really paid off without having to introduce anything else. So that's kind of the why in terms of just overall health. But also once I got through this past year's challenge, where I was already on a trend of losing weight, feeling better, the better I felt, the more the weight I wanted to lose. It wasn't about getting down to 200 pounds or anything of that nature. It was more, the better I felt, the more I wanted to work out, the better I wanted to eat. So it basically snowballed and just continues to snowball. And then the why I make it a priority now is I don't want to go back to where I was, both in maybe how I felt about myself, but more importantly how I feel just day to day. Activities, how I interact with others during the day. Feel so much better just being on that plane right now, and I don't want that to end. I want it to continue. So a typical week for me, and I think about in terms of weeks, not a day. So I don't have a routine. I'm not a routine guy. So during the beginning of the week, I'll look ahead to what I have planned with family, what do I have planned with work, what do I have planned with friends, and kind of put some markers out there. Here are the days that I work around. And then what I'll do is fill in the blanks a little bit with workouts. Here, M2 classes. In the last few years, I've been cycling more. I also hike a little bit. So I'll basically schedule some of those things out, but I like to be spontaneous in a lot of ways in terms of scheduling things maybe at the last minute, but I'll pack my bag every day. If some days I'll come to gym, some days I'll come in early in the morning. So I've been in pretty much every time slot here at ASF for M2 classes. So every week's a little bit different, and my goal is to get 4 to 6 classes in a week, ride 40 to 60 miles a week, again depending on the weather and how things work out. And then really, work other things in I can that are cardio, whether it's walking the dog or whether it's hiking. So as long as I meet those goals at the end of the week, I feel like I've accomplished what I want to do. And then I just know if I do those things, I'm going to feel really good during the week and end the week strong. So one of those elements too is Frisbee here at ASF on Friday nights. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of calories burned, a lot of fun. So it's just a great combination, a great way to end the week. I also, in terms of nutrition, I don't plan out every meal during the week. I don't do a lot of meal prepping, but I do make snacks and pack things during the week that are single ingredient things, vegetables, hard-boiled eggs, other things like that. And I have them at work and tap into them a couple times during the day and an hour or so before workouts here at ASF. So that seems to work for me. And everybody's formula is different, everybody's plan, but that tends to work very well for me and gives me some flexibility to plan some things at the last minute. 5 o'clock I may be coming here, or I may work something else out for that evening. So really just it really is contained in the week, and that planning starts on Sunday. So to close, just a few points that I wanted to touch on, just tell a little bit more about my story. When I started here 2.5 years ago in the first challenge, the first 2 challenges, again, I didn't see a lot of results. It would have been easy for me to give up in the second challenge because my results were actually worse incrementally. So, I had that feeling of, well, I'm not really getting anywhere, I'm just treading water. And then I kept hearing from the staff here and other people encouraging me that, fitness is a journey, it's not a destination. So I didn't want to just, go through the challenge, feel good about it, and then go right back to where I was. So I really started practicing patience, and I just kept building and building my commitment to fitness and nutrition and other things in a lot of ways, not just working out here, but also in those other ways that I mentioned. So as that continued to build, I started feeling better and better about, felt better and better day to day with my health. And the better I felt, the stronger, my commitment. And one of the things that I would do the first couple years is if I was at work and I was really dragging and really tired, I would say, I'm too tired to go work out. And now for the last year, I've said, I'm kind of tired and dragging, I need to work out. I need to go to M2. I need to go to 5:30, burn it off, get the stress moving, make that transition to home or wherever I'm going. And it's just been a real pleasant experience, and it really motivates me day in and day out. Also, in those first couple of years after the challenge, I would let the M2 classes or other activities be the last thing on my schedule. So what I try to do now, again, with my weekly schedule, is I'll make it more of a priority. It's not the highest priority. I've really been able to practice the last several years, for many years, a really good work-life balance. The problem is I let the things that mean the most, your health, really fall to the end of my priority list. So that's begun the last year, be higher up the priority list, but I'm also able to continue that work-life balance, faith, family, friends, and really been able to continue that, but also adding in the nutrition and the discipline there, as well as the fitness, and it's really made life more enjoyable, more rewarding.